Okay, so today is an even later episode than usual. Not that it's really that late. It makes me feel kind of old or whatever. The fact that, 10 o'clock, like, I'm so tired, or I don't want to go too late, but whatever. I'm always like half asleep when I do, not always, but with some of these sometimes. So, yeah, I have to consider very strongly whether I want to get this one or not. And Nightmare's here with the, something wasn't working, so I was trying to test it. Yeah, so you're clowning him again with that message. Let me read it again. I see myself continuing my current career and playing in tournaments when he was quick with it today too, as soon as I start. Eventually I'll be good as them all, whether I'm famous for it or not. I'll be a cold-blooded killer, that's the goal. Hoodie on, not to be effed with on the board. And yeah, Among Us is not a valid choice actually from that. Not that I mind even playing it, but... Or wait a second, you did that for the story game, not even the Saturday game. But no, I could just randomly play it one day. But no, this is one that I almost wanted, but now I have to decide if I'll be able to get to 1500 without it in case Bad Moon Rising is coming up. I guess it's only 450, so it wouldn't really be that hard at all. And so, yeah, it's like my phone was bugging out. It wouldn't actually show the, it wouldn't actually show the stream or like what's happening. So I could see the chat, but I couldn't see actually the video. What else are they going to say? Oh yeah, I skipped my series too. I'll do it just because it's such a beloved, important card that people just always talk about. So I have enough for 2 Bad Moon Rising, assuming that I get... I don't know why it's sometimes like a little less than 500. You only need 450 the first time. The Wolf Among Us, yeah, that's a good one. I mean, what is supposed to be my story game right now? I guess it's technically Arc, which is part of Xbox Game Pass Gauntlet, so that could go on for the rest of my natural life. But if I was willing to do a story game... I haven't been in the mood either because like I could only do it once a week now, whereas I used to like to do story games kind of every other day, right? So you can get kind of more immersed in them, especially detective games like Phoenix Wright or something like that, where you'd really get immersed in the details of the case. So I'm gonna forget within a week. That's kind of garbage. 1 damage to zombie hero for each point. I mean, it's not really garbage. You can almost just do this as an OTK type of thing if you have like team up in every lane, but whatever. We have to get to 1,000, 100% heal pack. I'm not a big fan of healing even as a mechanic. And so, yeah, we're just continue our way for Bad Moon Rising and very disciplined in terms of, we have to be very disciplined in terms of getting the actual, 1,000, whatever. 2 days left. What would even be new in my collection? I didn't do anything, like... Oh, just the one I just got. I don't even know who can use some of these things. I just get them on a whim. The Smash. Of all the ones I would have thought could use it would be Infinity to do with the buffing and everything. And why would it be the Smash? Like, I don't mind it, but this seems more... I guess it is sort of a mid-rangey card. It's like a Jade Idol type of degenerate shenanigans that if the game goes on for a very long amount of time, you can keep doing it over and over and over. But in a way, it can almost screw you over, too. Like if you get it too many times early. All zombie gets +1/+1 in Frenzy. Like it's good, but you have to use it the right way situationally. We got to get rid of some buff card maybe that isn't as good. Or... I don't know. We have some sort of weird pseudo synergy where we... Like even this thing is not very good, right? I don't feel like I ever get particular good value out of that. I forget what this even does. I guess +5/+5. That can actually be better than you might think. Although it's expensive as hell for just one. I think I'll get rid of this. I don't think this is usually... No, there's been a couple fun applications of it though. It's a really tough... I hate the raw zombie, but it can still be good sometimes because its effect is so unique. Yeah, I have to find a way to get into playing story games again, but I have a proposal. I will get paid next week so I can have a PS5 Plus... Play with friends. We can try for a Minecraft series where we play together, make content off of it. It could work. We can play something together, but I don't know. I'm kind of not. I could edit the streams to turn them into chores. I wouldn't mind that. I've been kind of doing that on my own though already. Like I've uploaded a lot of stuff, but let's play something else and just get in the rhythm of it, and then maybe later we could do Minecraft. But I kind of want to save that for some special occasion. It's just very, very, it's such an important cultural experience that I wouldn't want to rush into it too fast. I want to save it till 2035 or some shit. It's not that I've never played it. I just never played it much, or, I have to be like super anti-spoiler, whatever, because I don't want to know anything. Like, I love how I played Arc, even though it's been kind of slow and in some ways stupid, and I've kind of cheated it with the whole permadeath thing, like how I can't respawn, but I still have to do everything. I still like the fact that, you know, it's been so blind and so slow paced. I'll create my own rule sets and stuff. Let me think here. What would I even want to get rid of? This thing is kind of dumb. Like, I remember getting value out of this at least a couple times, where it sort of puts the clam down when you have a good board, which is what this guy is kind of about. In fact, the Smash sort of exemplifies what my style of play is, at least as far as zombies, where it's a little more mid-range and you control the board and you have a couple of these high-cost minions, so that part is at least pretty good. So what I need to see is just get rid of one thing, and I can't decide what it is. Yeah, I could get rid of something like this, but I wouldn't want to because that's such an important early game asset. And this is literally an impossible decision. I'll actually just do that. But I still won't start with playing them. So, again, this is one of those cards at the beginning, even of the playthrough, that people were saying, oh, this is so good, or I kept seeing it over and over. And, you know, I get it, but it's kind of... The special occasion could be that you get a wife. Yeah, I'll get a wife like Hikaru just to do duo streams with her, like Atusa and Hikaru stream chess together. Or I don't know if they actually have done that, but that's literally the stage that Hikaru's at in his life, that he would do it for that reason. He could have never gotten a girl like that, even though she's a chess player too. Never gotten a girl like that just being a great chess player, but oh no, now that he's a big streamer, now he gets whatever he wants, huh? So here's a decent curve hand. I like how quietly that happened, though. Nobody even knew he was in a relationship or anything. Let's try to... See, now I'm guaranteed to get the 1,000 gems, because even if I don't do it this time, if I just do it next time, where I get the 300 damage in, I could still get Bad Moon Rising next time, because it's not even there yet. And somebody did say it was in July, but I tried not to read the whole message. So, like in a YouTube comment, so I just saw Bad Moon Rising July, and I'm like, I skimmed through and try to... you know, anti-spoil it. So you're in a position where what do you call it? That might be an overcommit, but that's what this guy's all about. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I didn't really read for sure, and I don't know if it's even accurate. You know what some people said last year, whether they were trolling or not, or they were just assuming? Hikaru best waifu. They were saying it's around Halloween, right? So this is how long ago I was craving it. The last Halloween, like in October, they said, oh, it's going to come out for that, or even I speculated that it might, but then it never did. So obviously this might actually be well, or no, duh, you just do that. And again, you never worry about your own health. In fact, you want to trigger the block meter a couple times just so that you can get some of that stuff to use it offensively, right? The best offense is a good defense, by which I mean just let the block meter spam the whole time. But I did sort of create a monster with this where it's going to get totally out of control, right? This is a really bad series of decisions that I'm making, that I'm just letting that thing roam free, but I can't really worry about it. But now there's going to be no way I can actually get rid of it ever. See, this kind of series is why my formats are so interesting sometimes. Not even to toot my own horn or whatever, but my performance within it is a separate story. But just the fact that I, you know, am willing to do this format made this game so much more interesting than what it would have been otherwise. Not that it isn't already interesting, actually, much better than I would have thought, although a limited scope of cards. But, you know, just, I don't know, there's something to it that's exciting with respect to, so we can do this guy here. You know, getting the two Dark Matter Dragon Fruits is so epic, knowing that they were totally dynamic and that I was kind of relying on that. So see, it didn't punish me at all, the fact that I left everything around, unless you have a lot of good shit now. Best offense is good defense. Hasn't worked for you in chess. I mean, it's worked in a marginal sense, like, you know... Oh shit, he's gonna have 1 health left. you know, it's allowed me to win games that I otherwise wouldn't have been able to win because I'm just not good enough anyway. But yeah, I mean, I could still do better. This is very dangerous if you can get the 5 damage off. In fact, I'm not even sure. Is he really going to somehow win out of... Wait, what? That guy does look pretty sick. I'm surprised I haven't seen him more. Chum Champion. When played, get -1. Destroy all planets. Yeah, this is what they need is an MMO for this fucking game to... I don't know why I even did that. Like, I could have just... I should still win, I guess. You know, with all these different character archetypes and enemy type designs, I could take inspiration from this in addition to obviously the actual game. That quest does take so goddamn long to actually do, but this is the best guy to do it on. I should at least get up to 150 on the scale. On the, whatever, weekly quest thing. 1 3. This is honestly, it's, when you think about it a little objectively, this is the kind of game, you know, I would make fun of or play just as a meme. But I can't say that it's not enjoyable. Right? It's deceptive, but... It's one of those, if you played for a long period of time, you'd probably get bored because there aren't enough cards. But again, between the format and my casual nature, I'm too casual even for this game. The best defense is a good offense. That is how the engine thinks about it, because... You know, I'll be wondering, like, what do I do about this threat that they're posing? But what the engine will do is it'll just ignore it, and then it'll actually... pose a threat of its own, which I'm not very good at doing. I'm not saying that, you know, a lot of people wouldn't be genuinely better at attacking than I am, but it does surprise me sometimes that, I don't know, it's not as intuitive as you might think, or you can't just attack, right? Like if you try to attack a 1700 rated player and you're not experienced with the game, you're gonna get destroyed. You're gonna get clowned. Like, it's not as straightforward as you think. Race costs 1 less. Okay, we can do this one, and then we could do a double attack. I'm almost saving that though, or I can't do it yet. That's still a favorable trade. You might be buffing that, but I could care less. This dude is literally me, by the way. Who needs face cam when you have this? This is literally my avatar. There isn't like the whole microtransaction element with that, I guess. The heroes are just the heroes that you buy in a functional sense. But there is no like, oh, I get a special skin for Captain Combustible that makes him look red like he's the devil all the time or something like that. You know, all these different cosmetics that you could do that most games would sell in some sort of degenerate microtransaction sense. But again, that's not to the game's credit really. It's just they never got to that point because the game didn't last long enough. Whatever, or they didn't... I wouldn't even say it didn't last long enough. It just didn't do what they wanted. Probably it didn't make them enough money, so they didn't bother continuing to design it. I don't even really want to do this, but in a way this is kind of bad too, because it didn't kill anything and it just buffed that guy up. But no, it's like what was I saying? I like how deep you were talking about Chesel playing a different game. Yeah, I always do that, though. Oh, here we go. Speaking of which, I wonder if they got it from the actual event card just now, or if they just always had it. I guess I haven't seen it that much recently, so you would think it would actually be because of that. So they're keeping the professionals alive pretty well, which is dangerous. Kind of like the same mistake I made last game. You know, it's hard to say which one's really more valuable, but that one always seems easier to kill, or I could just do it like even right now. If I just do this and just do a bonus attack, I wouldn't even really have to, but yeah, like Elder Scrolls Legends was the same thing. It came out, and then within like a year, they already dropped support for it. Not that the game wasn't still out, or you know, it's not like they took it offline, but they just kind of gave up on it. It's like, how much money did you expect to make in like 1 year? You have to at least commit to it. That's why Blizzard with Hearthstone was like that, where they did it as a pet project, and so it was just a net positive. They weren't looking at it like, oh, we expect to make such and such amount of money, and if we don't, will just be bitchy about it and just stop developing it. That's such a stupid philosophy to have. I feel like I'm actually going to lose this one. It seemed like it was going fine at the beginning, but these gargantuars look so cool sometimes with the themes that they have. Like, it's so over the top, but they still look intimidating somehow. Results of some twisted experiment by Zomboss, no doubt. Sometimes this guy could be a raid boss in some 5-man dungeon in a hypothetical PvZ MMO. The two games that I want to see have the two franchises that I want to see have an MMO more than anything, like Magic the Gathering, to flesh out all the lore and different stuff, and obviously apparently this universe. So I'm actually a moron for doing that because I'm actually just dead. So there was nothing. There probably wasn't much I could do anyway. Like, I could have killed that. It's just, yeah, whatever. But you shouldn't just play into it so badly. Like, I could have delayed it at least a little bit, and then you never know what's gonna happen. Right, so let's go to here, and then we can do the smash. Like, I typically start with the smash anyway, but especially to try this little Jade Idol equivalent. But it's not really gonna matter. Most games it's not gonna come into play, and in fact I don't really even want it to come into play, because it would mean that the game had gone on for too long. You still want it to go on a decent amount of time so you can summon something big on the board and take advantage of that, but it doesn't mean that you have to it's just a little bit too slow. Some people would even say it's control, but it doesn't have to be. It just depends. The pace of this game is a little different than what you're used to in modern card games anyway, or at least with the extreme amount of power creep that happens. So, it really could be considered mid-range more than anything. You play a plan, deal 1 damage to zombie hero and its bullseye. So the solution here is you would not ignore it, and the reason why you would not ignore it is because of the simple fact that this is more of a more of a defensive minded deck, or again, you just want to play for board control. Yeah, even though I've gotten to rank 20 myself, like this person obviously is, I haven't done it in a while because, again, clearly I just haven't played long enough. Not that my collection's only gotten better. I've clearly only gotten better as a player, but it's not, it doesn't matter because you can't just do it. Destroy one of their nuts or berries. When you play a pet, all pets kill. Let's just do that. You could buff it with this stupid ass thing, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, this is like the first time I ever skipped my little PvZ hard mode episode just because, whatever, it was already later than I expected. Makes me appreciate how hard it is to, on top of everything that I do, it's very difficult to, well, I guess in a way I should have done that, but whatever, we just got to survive through the early game. Like all the YouTube stuff on top, like I can barely do the streams anymore, but even when I had more time, it's like I would rather just stream for 7 hours, but then how the fuck would I upload the whole thing if I wanted to keep up with it? I'm like one extreme or the other. I want to just do it like all the way if I'm gonna do it. Make a 1-1 plan. I don't know why I'd want to do that right now. Whatever, I don't know what better play we'd get with that later. So what did I see that was interesting? I saw an ad for some game that I had thought about. I can't remember. There was some other version of Kingdom Hearts I saw on Steam like yesterday when I was going to play Ark. I don't know what that is. Like just a PC version, PC port of Kingdom Hearts. Just emulate it, lol. I'm getting actually pretty low, which is surprising. Destroy a planet with 4 or less. We're gonna trade in favorably to this anyway, so it doesn't matter. And then their board isn't that intimidating, and their hand is pretty shitty too. Just, I like to shit all over Solar Flare because she just sucks, and everybody always is way too crazy about her. So the frenzy here would be kind of cool. Even though the 1/1 plan I'm not a big fan of, but then again it'll trade in just fine. I guess I didn't realize you could decide exactly where it goes. Or is it always this, I wonder? Or is it just... It could be any 1/1, so it just... Oh shit, I even have mentioned this in my title. We got a really funny interaction with that one time where it actually helped me because it somehow... They transformed everything into something, but this ended up being worse than what they already had. Like, I can't remember exactly what it was, but... Like the cornucopia guy, so it'll transform everything into a different plant, let's say. And then one of them was this, and therefore it turned them all into 3/3s instead of something better that they would have gotten from it anyway. I'm probably just dead. Probably one of their nuts or berries. Go ahead and do that. And even if they do hit me still, I'll get to absorb it, but I'm not gonna have a healer. Well, actually you do, but how do you even use the chat, like, while in a game? Oh, like that. Some of these functionalities don't even work in this game. Like, I kept trying to play somebody the other time, but it just doesn't work half the time. Actually, the random matchmaking works just fine. Yeah, that fucking disco ball really saved me here. So I won't even get a chance in tradition. I won't even get a chance to use the new card that I got because we already died with this dude. Right, so we only get one chance per episode per character. And even then, I don't even go through all of them. Either because I go on such a good win streak with somebody, or I just... whatever, I just don't have time, so whether I win or lose. Yeah, it is weird. A lot of people I would play like that on, you know, friends and stuff, would be using like that card. I don't even know the name of it, even though I just got it. I'm very bad with card names, but I feel like it's one of those absolutist tendencies, like named for function. I know what it does. I'm calling it Jade Idol equivalent or whatever, right? But just because I know what it does, the name of it isn't necessarily going to tell you. It's some kind of virus stupid thing that I've seen like a million times, but you know, they would always use it, but I never really saw it in random matches too much. Going viral, kind of like what I'm hoping to do by posting clips on my channel, like Nightmare. I'll make a short. He'll make a short for me playing Minecraft, and that's one of the stupidest clips I've posted, and I've kind of become the very thing I swore to destroy. It's like a clip of me in Pal World, and it's like a 10-second clip of me like throwing a Pokeball at a pal and missing it, and just that's it. And that got like 2,000 views and like 20 likes and 20 dislikes or whatever. But it's like, this is the state of content in the modern day. Like, I realize what I'm doing and I don't like it, and I always criticize short form content, but I'm still doing it because this is the way that people are. Like, let me get this straight. I could post a 10-second video of me throwing a ball at a Pokemon in a Pokemon knockoff Pal World game, but I could do a well-researched psychological thesis that has like fucking real published works to go along with it and all this kind of stuff for months and months of research and interviews, and oh, that gets 10 views. But you'd rather have 2,000 people flock to see this fucking dog shit short form clip, like a TikTok equivalent. This is the kind of thing that, you know, people reward, so there's nothing I can say. It's just dumb. So even when I do friend matches, I still count it towards the thing, as far as the ones that I've already played. So I guess I'll do Green Shadow or whatever, depending on what he does. So we have two kind of things on our checklist that we can get. As soon as we get 1,000, obviously we're ready to buy Double Bad Moon Rising. And then as soon as we get 1750, I'm ready to buy the Yeti Zombie, because I meet the condition within my format also. Not only is it no crafting, but of course, the only way I can get a hero is either from a pack, which I still haven't gotten a single one, obviously. Is the only one I got was Captain Combustible from the just buying it outright with my gems. But the only way I can do that is if I have a legendary of each type of their class, which I do. Like the nurse is beastly, and the whatever, the zombie is Zombie, they're all zombies. The fucking cowboy guy is like is the other one. That's a long ranks match. They must be playing some kind of control versus control matchup, which I haven't even messed around with the missions or anything. Or maybe at the beginning people were actually telling me to do that, or maybe I said, oh, it would be permadeath missions, like trying to do the story mode like that, but they wouldn't even let me because whatever, I would have lost like the first thing. So I can't do the smash. Let's do Super Brains. I guess I haven't enjoyed playing Super Brains or Infinity too much lately, right? I've just kind of been more fixated on the plants. I always look forward to Wall Night. Not even that they're bad, they're just not that exciting. Fuck, not even that they're bad. I want to keep that 6 cost just to have something to look forward to, but apparently I don't have any low cost minions in this deck, even though that's what most of my collection is going to be. You know, he's going to be using it in some cohesive sense. Normally that's just like a meme worthy card, but zombies played Hero Gravestones. When it's revealed he gets +1. I play Pot of Greed. This allows me to draw 2 cards, but that's usually worse than Pot of Greed because Pot of Greed doesn't cost you anything. It's just, that's how spell cards work in Yu-Gi-Oh! That's kind of funny in some contexts. Like, I don't know whether I should play on the board or not even, but that's what Strike Through lets you do so beautifully, is that you can kind of do both at once. So if I made an all Strike Through deck, yeah, see, it's going to be totally synergistic. Not just out of pure necessity to use it because whatever. It's like that's how I think of my decks, or things that I sometimes see at the low rank, is like you're just going to have stuff in there just to have it, right? Not because you're getting full value or it's all part of your plan. He's going to do it again too, I bet. So I should have done it there because now you're going to get out of reach of me killing this. And I can't even complain about seeing people have legendaries because of the fact that you know, not only do I have a good number, at least as plants, but I'm just doing it for card draw at this point because I'm going to get rushed down. But also the simple fact that, you know, I was so lucky to get double Dark Matter Dragon Fruit and stuff like that, so how can I complain? And, you know, that would seem like a pay-to-win collection worthy thing. I might even just have to do this. I really can't be picky. Right, like there's nothing I can do. It's all plants here and the plant hero, which means it would kill it, which means that's the most efficient thing you can do. And it still wouldn't die, and it would still keep going. So this is one of those nuts level cards. So, man, I didn't use it entirely aggressively. Speaking of a whole strike through gimmick for the deck, not really what you know, is even my intention, but that was very good value actually. But they've got a lot of good cards, so I can't do much about it. Double strike. But some of these memes behind the card designs are amusing, but they're also like whatever. There's maybe a little bit too much of that, but that's the whole way that they design the game. They do puns first and mechanics second. Like, oh shit. Well, he just buffed that as a BM. Good game. Okay, so now we lost as that guy too. So now let's go back to, I guess, Green Shadow. We can try one. I feel like those sometimes count for the daily quest too, because people were even doing that back and forth as far as, yeah, good game. They had like some really good value cards in the mid range that I couldn't do anything about, really. I don't think that deck has much removal for me either. In fact, I got super lucky with that cowboy play. It was epic. I took out like 3 things for 1, but you know, that was like my last gasp. There was nothing else I could do after that. Getting carried by my busted collection that actually is pretty good, all things considered. Like, I guarantee I could get to like rank 40 with what I have right now. It would be pretty hard, and I would have to not only play a lot more, but I would have to probably rank 50. I couldn't unless I have exactly the right thing, but rank 40 because I would have to break my rule of, oh, every plant only gets 1 life per session, because that would be unfair. You'd have to play as the same one over and over for a long time and kind of farm it out or whatever. I'll save that, even though sometimes my instinct is just to go full on aggro. Face roll. We got Green Shadow, and we got Infinity, and then we got Wall Knight, and we just kind of exclude Solar Flare just because I don't like her. I'm like a Solar Flare contrarian. Just because everybody liked her so much at the beginning, I make a point to not like her. Or to basically avoid playing her. I guess I could do this, but this seems like a bad idea. Oh, shit. I'm playing too aggressively even on players that don't need to be aggressive. We better just do that. Right, I always go in with a Captain Combustible mindset when I'm not like that anyway. It can work, but it's just not really worth it. One of these we just do to try to trade. That's actually fine too. Let's do this one. We'll buff it. And then we'll also do this one. A good amount of removal there. And just see if we can outlast somebody. Don't really need to farm. You just need to find a budget deck. But even if I could find one, it's like... whether I have the cards in my collection to make it or not wouldn't be, you know, up to me. Like, maybe I just don't have them and I can't do anything to get them. Right, I just have to go with what I have. I'm sure I have all kinds of good options, but this is a little bit confusing. Or maybe not. This is good. We could trade into this and we cut off the whole anti-hero thing. Damn it, another one. I'm just dead. Yeah, replay again. He's spamming that. Need more context. Chess players have a big ego. Is pretty much everything we... It's funny how many of those people I've seen in doing this. Not even saying that some of them aren't good, but there's so many people who get so egotistical about chess. My favorite is probably Ace, who is really good. He's like a 2400 too, on the websites at least. But he gets really into it, which, you know, that's the kind of level of passion that you sometimes have to have. But some of it I don't really like. I can appreciate the result more so than the specific process, right? My approach could be just as effective, but I would just be more laid back about it, or whatever. Or like as Magnus himself said, I respect what people accomplish more so than the people themselves. Like the idea or the accomplishment, not the individual behind it. He just said that and no one asked. The guy that said it didn't give any context. Well, the context is he's bragging about how good he is at chess to some extent, which is fair enough. You know, if you're good, you get to talk some trash. That's one of the key privileges and reasons why people like to do things in the first place. Right, just so they can show it off to other people who are worse than they are. Didn't you have more plants and zombies last time we played? I should have about the same. I mean, I haven't opened too many packs or anything. In fact, I keep wasting my gems on event cards, but no, I only have 3 zombies, which is still my starting ones, and then I have 4 plants, just Captain Combustible plus the starting 3. This is just the little dancing clown, right? Or no, I always confuse this with the other one that throws the hat. Like, does damage for every dancing one you have out there. Draw a card. This is kind of a confusing play. This could be pretty worth it, though. Because you'll summon something, but it won't die from that unless it's strong enough to survive this, which is not going to be anyway. We're in a dominating board position anyway. Mandela effect. Yeah, these masters aren't as lopsided, at least as they sometimes are, but you know, sometimes you'll go against a rank 40 that even though I'm like rank 10, which is just, it trivializes what the whole ranking system is about, because if your average matchup is 20 ranks higher than you, then it doesn't really matter, right? And getting to rank 20, it's effectively like you got to rank 40 because you're playing an average of rank 35 anyway. Which I guess I can't complain because the queue times are so good in this game, but that would imply that they're not bots, because at least if they were bots, they would give you a closer ranked matchup. Even this one's not too bad, but just in general, right, a lot of them can be a little bit lopsided. There's not much we can do here. This is the one annoying thing about zombies at times, is the fact that you get sort of stuck with your inability to peekaboo, with your inability to and it even says he's offline as he's saying that. You know, you can't team up, so you're just kind of stuck with what you have. It can be very dangerous to play a bunch of 1-1s and then they'll just ignore them. So we're getting in a good amount of damage. A lot of stuff they're summoning is not really doing anything, so they're just gonna have to heal and hunker down here. If you lose 5 games in a row, you change to chess. In fact, that would almost be true, or I would have to end the stream, because if I lose 5 in a row, I only have 7 heroes, so I would almost be out of them for the episode. So yeah, I would almost have to end just like that. So if I lose 7 games total, I have to just stop playing. That's why the more heroes I get, the more transformative that is. Then I could do longer episodes, but I already don't get through the ones I have. You know, I've been playing almost too much chess lately, but it is kind of sad, but it doesn't always have to be that way. I can always just do an extra category. I could do, you know, this game or any game in those extra sessions that I have. Now you can still get unlucky with, as he even does, unlucky with the block meter that it's not going to save you, even though there's some sort of internal RNG with that, where sometimes it'll give you 1 tick or 2 ticks or whatever. So that's infinity. If we lose this, I'll play as Wall Knight, and then if we lose that, we're pretty much done. Right, because technically I lost as Super Brains to him. Right, so therefore that still counts, even though it's not a random online match. This guy's in there for no other reason than we just got lucky and got him, and he's still a good value card. I'm more intrigued by the 1-mana 1/3 than anything else. Right, I'm not really going to get the full value of it, but it could stick around. Using an ice deck, which is okay. I always make fun of all the ice cards, and they're so shitty and everything, but if you really commit to it, it can kind of be okay. Let's just do that. But now they're gonna get their spam ice effects off, which, again, it's on in and of themselves, they're typically bad cards, but anything can be good if you really build around it or hard commit to it. But then again, that's kind of one of my themes that often isn't good. In a lot of other games, like, you'll take one mechanic that you like and just hard commit, like every card in my deck should be untrickable, or every card should be ice related. And usually the best decks are not like that. They'll have a little bit of synergy, but they'll have some kind of other win condition mixed in there. It won't just be only that. Where there is no win condition, it's just like, I'm just gonna pick a mechanic and just everything in the deck is just that one mechanic only. So I'll have all 40 of the cards in the game that mention, you know, insert mechanic here, like splash damage or something like that. And again, not even with the pretense that, oh shit, not even with the pretense that because I think it's good, more so because I think just I like the mechanic, or I just want to, again, have like sort of a distinct theme to it. Yeah, I'm almost gonna get to 1,000 just from this alone, so I don't really care about the daily quest or the weekly quest. Let's try to get to rank 15. Since rank 20 seems totally out of my league for right now. Literally out of my league too, because that's what they're even called. No, I'm surprised people even enjoy this game enough to, you see people getting to rank 30 plus consistently. Right, like every month somebody's getting to rank 50. And it's probably with the same deck every time because nothing's really going to change. So you get more variance and interesting dynamics even at the low rank, because once you get to rank 40 plus, everybody's probably going to be using the same exact thing, even though, you know, that's true in a lot of games, but this game doesn't even have as much variety to draw from. This is one of my cool, you know, favorite starting plays because that is pretty strong. I mean, summoning 2/2/1s for one is very, very interesting. But now I'm going to delay even using it, but it's going to be good no matter what. But that's one of those block meter bait type things. It could even go there, of course, where they might just ignore it and farm out the block meter, but it's a little bit dangerous doing that. It's one thing to do with a 1/1, but to do with the 2/1 is kind of questionable. What is this thing? Gravestone, make it 3/1 just because that makes it 1/1. Now we should be able to do this, and we can also do the little amphibious dudes on top of it. I'm not really even playing for any goal now because I feel like we're always going to make a certain amount of progress, but if I get Bad Moon Rising, I'm just satisfied. I feel like I beat the game because it's so important, and I just regret not having it so much that, and it'll clearly get me to rank 50 just alone, which unironically, it would be a big step at least. But yeah, that's the only thing I really care about, and then just getting heroes and just opening packs, which I unironically just don't even do anymore. Right, in the last 20 episodes, I've probably bought like 5 event cards, and I've opened like maybe 1 pack or something stupid like that. It's a decent board. The overshoot mechanic is interesting at times too. Yeah, this game also has like very straightforward card text, like nothing, very few things have like super elaborate long paragraphs because they do a good job with the keywords, just making them very succinct and to the point, and like most of the effects are just based around that. It's not going to be something very specific that only one card does that requires some standalone explanation for it. I'm not even really a big fan of this. Like, it's okay, but it's just kind of more spectacle over actual quality. And the act of moving it there didn't cause it to create another one somewhere else, at least. I almost feel like that's how the mechanics should work, though. When you play a plant here, I mean, you can obviously just do that. Sometimes I just won't even look at their health. I'm just so enamored with some play that I want to make that I don't even care. Conjure anything you like, it's still not going to save you. Or sometimes what happens is you'll hit them with the wrong thing, and that'll trigger their block meter or get it closer within being triggered. It's like, oh, you would have had lethal if this dude wasn't in the way or something, but he's going to get them closer to block meter saving them. Like how that hit him twice with the overshoot for only 1 each. That could have made him single-handedly get saved by that. The last 2 games we won on a very narrow margin with that respect, like with the block meter, like potentially saving them, but you're like 1 little tick short. Okay, 1, 1, 3. Sometimes I'll keep like a 5 or 6 cost just because, you know, you're going to be craving for it later and you only have so many, so, you know, there's no harm in doing that. That's unfortunate because you'd love to combo these 2 together, but you can't even do it because, whatever, you'd have to wait till turn 2 and then you just kind of skip a turn. Or I could even still do it now, but I'll just do it because you know, so as not to miss out on that effect. And sometimes my little conjuration effects are the ones that are my best cards that I ever use because they're not even mine. It's like the likelihood of getting a card that's better than a card that you have in your deck from some other discover effect is very high when your deck or cards or collection is just shit. So especially for new players, that's a mechanic that you would love and almost encourage yourself to use. And the reason why is because you 2 damage to a random plant or plant hero. People really tryharding with fucking dinky mushroom decks that I probably was using at the beginning of this playthrough on Solar Flare. It definitely has come a long way though, like my collection, even in terms of you feel like you could collect every card in this game maybe without too much hassle, but this person is definitely dragging it out a lot. They just look at their hand. That's always what scares me. I fear no minion, but that thing, it scares me, as in the hand. Like how many things they have in reserve, not what they have on the board. They can always win the battle on the board. When you play a plant here, make a copy with team up. That actually is a very, very big deal of a card. Right, it's only Paradise. Why not just Paradise, but spelled like P-E-A-R? It dice. How would you actually do that? P-E-A-R-A-D-I-S-E. Just Paradise. But sometimes a lot of people can't deal with swimming necessarily, right? They just won't even have an answer to try to block that. Now, the block meter would have to save them for them to have a chance, but obviously they don't. And let's see. If we get to rank 15, we have about 1,000. We get to almost halfway there, or we do get to 1,000. I can't really complain about that. And I'm almost too tired to do much more of an episode. Like, how long even was that? I don't know. Okay, see you tomorrow.